What was hiding beneath America's largest city for more than 200 years? In 1825, workers digging near a busy street in New York City made a discovery so strange that many people refused to believe it. Buried beneath the growing city was a forgotten piece of history that had been hidden for generations. But this wasn't treasure, gold, or a secret tunnel. It was something far more surprising. A relic connected to one of the most important moments in American history. At the beginning of the 18th century, New York was still a relatively small colonial town. The city was crowded, dirty, and vulnerable to attack. The British, who controlled the colony at the time, feared invasions from rival European powers and attacks from the sea. To protect the settlement, they built defensive structures around parts of the city. One of the most important defenses was a large wall built along the northern edge of the settlement. Constructed mainly by enslaved Africans and laborers, the wall stretched across the island and helped protect the town from potential attacks. It was a significant structure for its time, standing several feet high and marking the boundary between the developed settlement and the wilderness beyond. As decades passed, New York expanded rapidly. The threat of invasion decreased, and the wall eventually lost its military importance. Residents began dismantling sections of it. Stones were reused in other construction projects. Roads were built over parts of the structure. Eventually, the wall disappeared from sight. Yet something remarkable happened. Although the physical wall was mostly destroyed, people continued referring to the area by its old name. The road that ran alongside the former defensive barrier became known simply as Wall Street. Today, Wall Street is one of the most famous financial districts in the world. Millions of people recognize the name, but very few know that it originated from an actual wall built more than 3 centuries ago. By the early 1800s, New York had transformed into a booming city. New buildings rose everywhere. Businesses expanded. Streets became crowded with merchants, workers, and immigrants arriving from around the world. Then came the discovery. During construction projects in Lower Manhattan, workers occasionally uncovered remnants of the original wall buried beneath layers of soil and urban development. Sections of stone foundations emerged from the ground, astonishing historians and residents alike. Many people had assumed the wall was gone forever. Instead, parts of it had quietly survived beneath one of the busiest cities on Earth. The findings confirmed historical records and provided a direct connection to New York's colonial past. Imagine standing in modern Manhattan, surrounded by skyscrapers, taxis, and millions of dollars changing hands every second, while beneath your feet rests part of a structure built before the United States even existed. The story becomes even more fascinating when considering what happened next. Wall Street gradually evolved from a simple road into the center of American finance. In 1792, a group of stockbrokers gathered beneath a buttonwood tree and signed an agreement that would eventually lead to the creation of the modern stock market. That agreement became known as the Buttonwood Agreement. From that small beginning, American finance grew into a global force. Banks expanded, investment firms emerged, corporations raised money through stock markets. Economic decisions made on Wall Street began influencing not only America, but the entire world. Yet the district's name remained a reminder of its forgotten origins. Most tourists who visit Wall Street today focus on the towering buildings, financial institutions, and famous landmarks. Few realize they are walking through an area shaped by events that began hundreds of years earlier. The buried wall represents something larger than a forgotten structure. It symbolizes the layers of history hidden beneath modern America. Across the country, cities continue to uncover surprising relics from the past. Colonial foundations, Civil War artifacts, indigenous settlements, and long-lost buildings often emerge during construction projects. Each discovery reminds us that history is never truly gone. Sometimes it is simply waiting beneath the surface. The story of Wall Street is particularly remarkable because of the contrast it reveals. A defensive wall built to protect a small colonial town eventually gave its name to the financial capital of the modern world. The laborers who placed those stones could never have imagined that centuries later, the area would become synonymous with global finance. They could not have predicted stock exchanges worth trillions of dollars. They could not have imagined skyscrapers piercing the clouds. They could not have known that people across the globe would recognize the name Wall Street. Yet their work left a legacy that survives.